back because everybody's hustle is different. And I think that to go into Dreams and Drive, you can have the same car, but we going different places. It doesn't make the car less valuable. It doesn't make your journey less valuable. My goals now, like, I need angel investors. I need to get things together. I have to be more visual. I have to do things like this and talk and acquire new skills, but that's growth, right? I could show up and do people's nails every day, but is there longevity in that for me? Am I passionate about that anymore? Which ways am I growing in that way? I think that my passion has elevation to it, and I'm okay with that. Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. I was raised off of that. Hi, this is Kia, and you're listening to Dreams and Drive.
Hey, Dream Drivers, welcome to episode 326, and we have a special guest today. It is former episode 211 guest Kia Stewart, and this episode was actually recorded in person in studio in New York City. So if you want to watch this episode in full, you can go to youtube.com/dreamsanddrive and search for episode 326 to watch this whole entire episode. So if you don't remember who Kia is, let me tell you a little bit more about my girl Kia. She is the owner of the 1209 Art and Wellness Studio. She's a non-toxic nail artist, Gel X pioneer, a celeb and editorial and published manicurist, and she's a self-proclaimed hustler, right? And on this episode, we are going to be talking about how to evolve your hustle. If you haven't listened to episode 211, it's okay. You can always go back. But we want to talk about just how much Kia has evolved. Her journey is unique. She used to work in the dental industry, and now she's working in the nail industry. And just what she's learned about what it means to be a dream driver and how that's playing out in her own life, and the tips that she has for other hustlers like herself and yourself listening right now about how you guys can evolve your own hustle by looking at what she's doing and what she's planning for her own brand. We got deep in this episode. We touched on a lot of topics that I think you all will enjoy. And I even let Kia ask me some questions at the end that really had me thinking about what motivates me in my own journey and what inspires me. So stay tuned for that. Remember, if you enjoy this episode, please make sure that you're following us on social as well. We are Dreams and Drive across the board on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I want to see you guys engaging with this one, right? It's the first time that I've done an in-studio video interview. You know, I want to know what you guys think. I want to just get y'all feedback. So please make sure that you're interacting with both me and Kia on Instagram. We will really appreciate that. And then remember, guys, if you want to join our email newsletter, The Keys, and get weekly updates delivered right to your inbox, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/join. That's dreamsanddrive.com/join. All right, let us get into this episode. Hey, Kia, welcome to Dreams and Drive in Real Life. We are here in a studio in New York City, and we're about to have a fabulous conversation. How are you feeling right now?
I am feeling really blessed. Thank you for having me back on your podcast again in this wonderful space. The energy feels good, and this is my first time with a visual podcast.
Me too.
It's a lot of trust here.
I know. This is my first time venturing into like a studio video environment. I did some video interviews when I had my Front Seat Fridays episodes where we were in my car and just videoing there. But now we're taking to the next level, right? It's 2022 and we're all about evolution, the evolution of the hustle, right?
That's why we're here.
So you were first on Dreams and Drive in 2019 and 20. It was in August.
Yes.
August 2019, and that was episode 211. Isn't that crazy?
222. I keep saying this is my 222 year. Are you into angel numbers?
No.
Oh. I am.
Okay. So what does that mean?
So 222, just angel numbers in general are kind of like signals of messages from the universe that kind of give you direction. They give you affirmation, all of those things. So they're really special to me. Okay. I usually always say 222. My heart that's here for my necklace is 888, 444. Like those are my good ones.
Okay. So, I like to start our Dreams and Drive interviews going back in time. And if you listen to the first episode, right? Episode 211, we talked about what inspired you as a child, but I want to take it back and switch it up a little bit. Okay. What would Kia right now, 2022 Kia, what would you tell 8-year-old Kia? If you could go back in time, right, and just talk to her, she was at that other chair over there, right? Like, what would you say to her?
That's really powerful. I would tell her that remain focused on the things that make you happy. Because I think a lot of times in my life, I've always wanted to do the right thing. But now that I'm getting older, as 2022 here, it's kind of like, no, the things that are in your heart are the things that are your reason and why you're here. So I think things would be so much easier if I knew that, like, I have the right path. It's okay. Rather than trying to explain it and bring unnecessary people along on that path and stuff, like, just stay focused in that path.
That's an interesting note because I feel like a lot of us spend a lot of time like doubting the path, and your path is so interesting. So people who don't know you, right, who don't know the Kia story and the Kia evolution and where you are today, let's kind of give a little recap. So you went to school. What did you go to school for again?
So I was in school and I just went for liberal arts.
Okay.
That's what I had went for. And then out of nowhere, I had a guidance counselor when I had to kind of get a discipline. And he was like, I have a daughter. She's a hygienist. I think you should do this. It's really, really good. Because I knew I never wanted to work in an office. Like, I was trying to avoid working in an office. I just didn't have a office personality. I value my freedom so much. Like, I'm a person that I need my freedom. Long story short, I ended up going through that avenue, got into dentistry, was working in Manhattan, and I got into cosmetic dentistry. So
it's like implants and like...
Yes, and that's not like the vibe of how everybody has veneers and stuff now. Back then, it was like the wealthiest of the wealthy had it. So I was learning so much at work that was outside of dentistry. Like, I have a foot into this life that like I never knew existed. My love from traveling came from there. It's like you start talking about quarters now. It's like, first quarter and second quarter. And we're going here. And we have a house there and things like that. So like my world is like expanding, right? And when you make that transition into college, from college to being an adult, you're so impressionable, especially in New York City. You have so many different things coming at you. So I started in that realm. Then once I kind of worked my way up in that field, I had an opportunity to work with a holistic practice. Okay. Because for some reason, I thought I wanted to get into like dental laboratory. But with dental laboratories, they work with a lot of toxic materials and stuff like that, which is so funny because the thing that was keeping me away from it is like, I don't want to sit in those acrylics and smells like that all day. Yeah. So I ended up getting hired by a holistic practice, and that really shifted and changed my life because wellness had became like the forefront of the things that I was really, really interested in.
Did you feel like you were in your purpose? You know how sometimes when you're like going down a path and you kind of just feel like this is right? Did it feel like that for you at the time?
For me, I would say that I'm always the type of person that I don't do anything that's not in my purpose. Okay. So even if I'm going to the grocery store, buying a pair of sneakers, hanging out with somebody, like I'm really protective over myself and like what I do. So whatever I expose myself to, I'm always trying to do the best of it. And like I said, I was with a really, really niche elevated group in dentistry. So you didn't have any time not to be your best in it. And I'm so grateful that that was my start because it's so many hints of nails in dentistry. Like,
what kind of hints? I'm trying to...
So the practices that I worked at, they don't send your, let's say your fabrications out to a lab. Your lab is there. So I have friends. I'm smiling because they're still my friends and they're like the best ceramists in New York City right now. Shout out to Joe and shout out to Jacob. So just like how I work with sculpting and shaping nails, we had a dental laboratory that was there. So sometimes when I'm done with my patients, I'll go be nosy, see what they were doing. There was a machine at the time when I was in dentistry. This is like totally off the top of it. It's called the CERC machine, but it really teaches you like how to mold and to make restorations and stuff like that. So my eye that I have for nails and putting things together and the creativity and stuff like that, like I was doing that every day for 6 years. When I transitioned into the wellness part, when I worked at the holistic practice, it really gave me my bedside manner that I have with my patients, is because these people are really sick because Western medicine has failed them. And when you have money it's even more debilitating when nothing that you could buy can help you. You just got to kind of rely on your body. So you have a lot of empathy with those people. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of breaking down and deteriorating in front of you. So I have that compassion. People are like, oh, my nails really suck. My nails are so weak and stuff like that. It's like, well, let's reroute the way that we talk about ourselves. Let's look at how you could work on your wellness and make that connection to it. So those kind of were the pillars that really started my navigation of, no, I want my nails to be very different in this way because I don't want to negate the education that I have. And just like perform for Instagram and perform for the client in front of me. Like, it's really a value in taking care of yourself and your body.
It's interesting because when we first talked, I didn't realize just how much working in that world really helped shape what you're doing now.
Yeah, big time.
And just help like kind of serve as a foundation. But for people who are listening, they're probably like, so wait.
Why would I leave that and do this?
The money was probably good, right?
Oh my gosh, the money was really good.
It was stable and something that makes sense. I know who's Jamaican in your family? Is
my father.
All right. So, Caribbean people, they're like, okay, they can talk about that to their friends and they could say, oh, Kia's this, she's working in dentistry. Yeah. But now you want to go be a what?
Exactly, a manicurist. Like, what are you talking about? And manicurist is like the professional title, right? It's like, you want to do nails. What are you talking about? But back to the person that I am, usually if I say something, people have a trust like, all right, what's this new thing you doing? Like, here you go, but it's going to be done well. I ended up going to Japan when I turned 30 because I was kind of thinking about potentially, like, do I want to do something for myself?
And what year was this, just for people to know?
2017.
All right, so 2017, Kia still wasn't like...
No, nothing. I didn't start nails until 2018.
Okay.
Which is even a funnier story. So, when you turn 30, it's like, oh my God, I really need to, celebrate this. It's supposed to be so monumental, all these things. And my practice was evolving. And my dentist that I worked for in the wellness world, he's really, really well known. So he started to get into developing like oral appliances. And he's like, you're doing so good. Like, I want you to be the face of this. I want you to do it. So I stopped like working out of the operatory for a whole year.
Oh, wow.
Which is also very funny in the way that God works. Like, it's so impactful to my story is because I was running the practice that helped me know how to run my business. And I was so annoyed because I was just like, why does he want me to do this? I don't understand. I was flying back and forth to Cincinnati. I'm like, why do I have to go here? But we had to go through the training and we had to go do the stuff. So I was going to all of these lectures and, just really meeting people and things like that. And these were not easy cases to look at. I was working with people that had lost their children from sleep issues. I was working with truck drivers that were really about to lose their licensing because they couldn't complete the drives because they had sleep apnea and all these things. So this wasn't just like a light level of things. He was working to get a patent for oral appliance. But all of those things transitioned, and at the same time, even though I was making money and I liked it, I was just like, I need an escape to kind of do something. Like, this is very heavy. Like,
I can imagine.
So I was just like, what do I want to do? Like, what I want to do? Back to my father being Jamaican and your family has an identity for you, whatever. So I started working at the Nike store. Yeah, because I was already paying off my school loans and stuff like that. I had my own apartment. I was doing everything. So those things cost. Yeah. So I was like, if I'm going to try to do something else, like, I got to get some money. So with my schedule, I was working 4 days a week. So I was like, okay. I started working at the Nike store and I had a friend, Malika, what's up? But she always used to do her own nails. And I'd be like, ew, why you paint your own nails? But her colors was always good. And no nail art, no nothing. And she had really nice hands. So sometimes at Nike, I'd be like, what color is that? And this and that. And I was like, Malika, I think I'm going to go to nail school. She was like, reaction? What? She was like, do that shit, Kia. And it was so crazy because I think we was coming like out maybe the fitting room. I have to ask her. I'll tell her to listen to this. But I think we were like coming out the fitting room or something together. And she just had like an excitement. Like, she didn't even look at me like, you crazy, nothing. Like, she was like, nah, Kia, do that.
And you need people like that sometimes, right? You need those
wherever
people.
This path goes, like, Malika is going to be held down because a lot of times in my life, like, I would be encouraged about something, enthusiastic about something. And it's kind of like, you don't get that reception, you know what I'm saying? So you reevaluate. But she was so for it. I went to school for nails. I actually am licensed and stuff like that. My teacher was so proactive, Miss Betsy. And it just felt like I was allowed a new path in life. It wasn't so heavy. I wasn't under anybody else's instruction, and it was just happy. So for my birthday, I was like, you know what? Let me go to Japan. Even if I don't like what I see in nails, I didn't really have a direction. I was just like, I mean, it's a trip to Japan, whatever. Ended up going, and it changed my life. So listen to that voice, I think, is my biggest thing. That's why I really don't like the internet too much now. It's a hard place for me, is because how do you listen to yourself? Today, I could get on the internet and say, oh, you know, green is the color of the season. Somebody that didn't like green is like, Kia said it. Let me see. Which is a great thing.
You're so influential, but at the same time, what does that influence really mean, and how is that used for good or bad, right?
Yes, and like I had time to process, you know what I'm saying? I had time to talk with my friends, and I mean, I learned so many lessons so quick because I didn't start out with acrylics and then decided from the beginning, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Because I had the knowledge of what those kind of toxic things can do to the body. And in our community, we're not really evolved to know that there are other alternatives. Like, oh, I really get regular nail polish, gel, or I get extensions. Like, that's kind of the gamut of what it is. And when I went to Japan, I was exposed to something totally different. And the girl that did my nails in Japan, she didn't speak English. So I was just
You're a risk taker. Like, you were like, listen, I'm going to go out there and figure out what it is I need to figure out.
This was so long ago that I found the nail salon on TripAdvisor. Yes, it sounds like a totally different world.
Where would you find nails?
All you gotta do is just hashtag it.
That is
You can look on TikTok, nail salons in Japan, this, that. I was on TripAdvisor by myself in Japan, going around like looking for a nail salon. And the funny thing is, the girl that did my nails now, she lives in Queens now because they opened a salon. Yup.
Were you nervous? Because I feel like that's something, like, even with us doing this podcast here in real life today, like, my nerves got to me. But when you were in Japan and you knew, like, I'm on this journey for myself because I know that I have a path I'm supposed to take. Like, what were those feelings that you felt?
I don't think that deeply about things.
Okay. Help me do that. How you do that, girl? I'm always thinking about everything. I don't know if it's my mom now, but
it just comes to me. A lot of things. Dentistry came to me. Nails came to me. I trust in God. I trust in me. I have a work ethic.
Okay.
I'm not influenced by things for the moment. Like, I'm me. I think the last podcast when we spoke, you was like, what does that mean? You keep saying
like, you kept saying, I'm Kia. And I'm like, who is Kia? Who's Kia now?
Oh my gosh. You know, first of all, I think I've been proud of my accomplishments in my life, but I'm like proud of me now. I'm such a better person. Like, I have grown so much in the past year, and growth, all of that stuff that they tell you, that shit is hard. But I am a person that has a purpose. I am a person that knows my worth. I am a person that is willing to take insight from valuable people. There's this man, his name is Les Brown.
I love him.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, he was a big part of me, like, evolving this year.
Did you meet him, or was it just...
No, okay. I would love to meet him. But he has a phrase that is called only quality people. And he says, every time that you meet somebody, see if they fit. I think it's OQP, which he calls it.
Okay.
And he said, that's how you navigate and you evaluate. And I've really been really stern with that. Like, okay, are they a quality person this way? Not because money, not because opportunity. You know, somebody could smile at you. They could be kind, or you have a problem and you're going through something, they really hear you out and things like that. So I just am proud of myself. Like, the journey that I'm on, all of these things that I've done, they're amazing. I think they're a result of hard work.
Honoring your growth. I feel like that's something that a lot of us don't spend enough time, right? Just being proud of where we came from. Because, like, I want to ask you, in 2019 versus now, like, what do you think were the biggest changes? It's funny, I was going on your Instagram, and as of yesterday, you had 26.8 thousand followers, right?
Yeah.
And when you first started, you told me, I think it was 2017 you launched your Instagram, or was it 2018? You had
2018.
56.
Yeah. And
Isn't that crazy?
I was so excited When I got 5,000 followers, I remember my friend Ty, shout out to Ty. When I got 5,000, she was like, oh, you'll have 10,000. And like, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I got 5,000 followers. She was like, yeah, you have no idea. I'm like, what? And I remember when I got 10,000 followers, I was like, 10,000 people. I have to find it. I saved it a while ago, but it was this woman, you know, I follow a lot of energy accounts and things like that. And she showed a diagram of what 30 people look like in a circle. Then she showed 1,000 people in a circle. Then she showed 10,000 people in a circle. And I always think about that in my head. Like, if I was to put all those people in a room, that would be crazy. And I always do audits on my account to make sure that they're real people. Like, I'm very much like that. I hate the word authenticity and stuff like that, but I would just like all my ducks to line up in a row. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So in this is like really my life. You know what I'm saying? It's so heavy for me sometimes, but I'm appreciative, and, you know, your steps are ordered. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Nipsey is a big inspiration of mine and stuff like that. When he died, a lot of people didn't know all of the great things that he was working with Idris Sandel, and how he was trying to revolutionize the school systems in LA and stuff like that. When you do stuff for you and you have a higher calling, you and you kind of align yourself with that, that's the purpose. So even though it's amazing that I do have those people, that's not my goal. Yeah. You know, and I'm very in and out on Instagram. I'm not doing the TikTok dances and the things like that, because what I'm working with, my calling, you know what I'm saying, is something that could allow people that have diabetes to get their nails done safely, that you can bring your child to the nail salon if you can't find childcare.
I don't think you want my son in your nail salon.
I mean, maybe we can revolutionize like what nail salons and stuff look like. Like, I have such an in-depth vision of even care between women that look the same. You know what I'm saying? True. Because look at how service is changing right now amongst us.
Very true.
It's kind of hard to really be consistent with somebody that offers you a beauty service and things like that, unless you have already vetted through that relationship. We're so transitional with each other. So I'm very cognitive of these things. I pay attention. I'm very cognitive of Lux K as well, too, who has access to that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's my life, and I'm just really passionate about those things. So I'm grateful for the followers, but I'm following my own path, honestly.
How do you do that? And I ask you that because I feel like a lot of us are we want to grow, we want to be different, but sometimes we feel like in order to grow, we have to follow a trend, or we got to be like somebody else, or we got to do something this way. And it's really hard to just have confidence in your own power and your own journey. Do you have any tips for that person who's listening right now, who's like, yo, Kia, you did it, but it's not working out for me. Like, being me is not working out for me.
Well, I think that the biggest thing in that is looking to self-development. Like how we spoke about Les Brown.
Yeah.
I love Jim Rohn. That's somebody that I fell in love with this year. T.D. Jakes, big influence of mine. What is it that's not working for you, that's giving you this identity crisis? Do you really like cats, but you feel like you're not going to get enough likes, so you don't really post about cats? You know what I'm saying? Do you really like making expensive drinks for yourself in the morning because they make you feel better? You know what I'm saying? You make lavender matcha and things like that. There's a community out there for everything. Like I said, when I started Lux K, nobody was talking about your natural nails. That is a wave on Instagram that I started that conversation. Like, I could put my flag in that. But when you present it to people and you know what you're talking about and you've done the work, you can present something that now people are like, you know, I didn't have that knowledge, but at the same time, I could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I think success and popularity and all these things, they look so easy now. I'm from an era that you really had to be popular. You really had to be about that. So I think I still carry that. Like, even the other day when I posted the hustle bag, I had on my New York hat with it. But I'm from Westchester, so it's like a joke. Like, you see the memes when people be like, oh, Staten Island is not considered the city. Westchester is upstate or whatever like that. But I was like, but do not forget what Jadakiss did in Versus, because I'm from the same place. Rest in peace, DMX. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you have to be self-accepting and you have to really do the work. And a lot of us, like, you could put on the clothes, you can go to the places, you could take the vacations, you could do those things, but you have to do the work.
That is true.
Once you are okay with you, why does it matter what the next person
and it takes time. Like, I feel like it's not going to be something you just happens in a day. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. Now, sometimes I think that I've learned something and then I have something else happen and I'm kind of like back in that space with clients, personal, with my friends, with my family, with myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think you just got to be open to this life thing. I'll listen to Angie Martinez and Lauren London.
That's how we had that. This is how we aligned to even making this happen, was that that inspired us and we both connected. Like, we should do something in person.
Yes. And when she spoke about death, I always speak about death, which is so funny. Like, I'm not afraid to die. I don't want to get shot and I don't want to get stabbed. But like you said, was I scared to go to Japan and like that? I'm like, you could die on the subway. I'd much rather die in Japan. Like, that's such a better story.
But why do you think that conversation about death is something that is important to have? Or do you think it's important? Because
I do.
I don't hear people talking about that, right?
No, but it's always, I think since I lost my grandfather, like, the world is just not genuine to me no more. I still see the goodness in it, but you just meet some people and you just be like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
What about his death brought that? Was it like the way he passed?
He was so G. Like, my grandfather died in his house. He didn't go to hospital. He had all his stuff set up. Like, he did. I've never seen nothing like that, especially from a black man. Like, you don't go to the hospital. You have people come to your house, take care of you. My grandfather never worked a day since I was on this earth. He retired. He took care of, like, my best friend, how people say now, like, my little broke best friend.
Yeah.
Like, I was really his little broke best friend, and he used to, like, sit down and talk. He used to make me practice, like, speaking when I went to the bank and introducing myself and things like that. It's so crazy. But I think with him, I kind of felt like, wow, that guidance, I don't have that anymore. But he taught me so much that is still carrying me from this time. His anniversary is on the 23rd. So just the alignment of all this stuff is just so crazy. It's 10 years.
Wow.
I'm not who I was when he passed away, but those things that he was telling me up until that point in time, it's like it still shifts and it molds me in a direction, and it's working. I've leaned on those understandings to build Lux K and stuff like that.
Dream Drivers, life is sweet and made even sweeter when spent with the ones you love. Savor the moment, big or small, with a delicious bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drink, or for a new favorite sip whenever you get thirsty along that dream driving journey. Check out the full Starbucks ready-to-drink coffee lineup online or wherever you buy groceries. Because with Starbucks coffee, you're always ready for the right now. It's summer, and I know we all are on the quest for the perfect beverage to quench our desire for refreshing. So here's the question. What have you always wanted to try? Is there something that has been a dream of yours, a flavor, a taste that you just really need to get at? Gold Peak Real Brewed is here to unleash your thirst for trying. Real brewed tea, real cane sugar, real delicious. From sweet tea, unsweetened tea, green tea, California raspberry tea, Georgia peach tea, lemon tea, lemonade tea. There are so many options to find what's best for you. And this summer, we need to try something new, try something brewed, because nobody wants to be dream driving with a dry mouth or thirsty. We need that fuel to be at our best for this ride. So take this as your sign to say yes, opt in, go for it. Because trying is what life is all about. Try Gold Peak. What's the biggest thing that he taught you that you think you're taking into your business now, post 2019?
Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. I was raised
said that
off
to you?
of that. Oh, I was raised off of that.
So you were a young kid and he was telling you be transformed by the
my
renewal?
grandfather told me everything. He used to tell me, you are tall. Walk around like you have some sense. He used to tell me, don't be talking like you got boo-boo in your mouth. Open your mouth and talk. He said, because you tall and people are going to see you. And he used to say, and you lucky you cute. Because if you was ugly, then it'd be even worse for you. Like, my grandfather was so G, but he was very serious. You know what I'm saying? He had a time to play. He had a time to be open with you and stuff like that. And that's very much my personality. My father's like that too. I think a very different thing about me is I was really raised by men. My mother is in my life and stuff like that, but my father and my grandfather for fourth to a little bit into sixth grade, my mom was finishing her nursing degree, so I lived with them.
Okay.
So, like, every day, and my grandmother, she was there, but, like, they were pretty much raising
me. It's so interesting because, you know, I was having this conversation with one of my friends, Samantha, and we were talking about, like, what's more important in a child's life, a mother or a father? I think you need both, right? But for a woman, right, do you need your mother more? Do you need your father more? For a man, like, do you need a mother more? Like, for you, it seems like these men had such a profound influence on building that foundation of who Kia is, right? Like, what, if you could, like, have them, if they were sitting in this room right now, right? What would you say? Like, what do you think they would say about where you are now? Your grandfather, most specifically.
I think that, wow, what would he say?
Because you've been transformed. Thinking about so many things happened since 2019. The pandemic, right? You had to change your whole business model, right? Innovation, inspiration, creativity, all this stuff happened in the past 3 years. You probably could never imagine. He's probably like, that's that thing I told Kia, right? Be transformed.
I went to go visit him a couple of times when I had really big things going on, and I'm just like, listen, I think that he would honestly say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd be like, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. Like, good, but don't celebrate. Because I know what's in my heart. So he wouldn't discourage and be like, not acknowledging what I've done. But yeah, he didn't raise me like that. It's like, get it done. Like I said, my grandfather didn't work a day that I was on this earth, and he died when I was 25. He lived in Long Island. He was one of the first Black people to have a house on his block. My grandfather was no joke. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he would definitely push me to go for what needs to be done. He called me Hollywood. Like, he never called me Kia. He'd be like, okay, Hollywood.
He saw something in you probably didn't yet see, or you probably knew, but he had an insight into, like, this vision he already saw you becoming.
Yeah, he did. And I think, I don't know, he never, like how when people pass away and they say, oh, I have a dream of them and stuff like I never have dreams of my grandfather. I used to get so mad, like, why don't you come visit me? Because I have a sister. You impressed with me? No way. My sister is so impressive. Like, she's a microelectronics engineer.
Wow.
She has her own house. She's so grown. But she'll be like, oh yeah, Papa came to me. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about it because he didn't come visit me. But then something could happen and I'm like, there he goes.
Looking out for you.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I could feel it. My father would probably just be like, Kia's always going to do whatever she wants. I'm so proud of you. Like, my father always just tells me, I'm proud of you. I'm glad it's working out for you.
We need people like that. Like, it's funny because, like, dream driving can mean so many things. It could mean who's in your passenger seat. It could mean who's over there pushing the car when you're stalled, right? Who's at the exit ramp with the little flag saying you made it, right? Like, there's so many people along this journey that sometimes we have to kind of take a step back to see just how they really impact where we are now. Let's talk a little bit about challenges, though, right? A lot has changed, like I said. It's 2019 since we last talked. The pandemic happened. You have new products, new spaces. What's been the biggest thing for you now as you're building the Lus K brand, building Kia as an entrepreneur? Like, what are the things that really you're just like, I gotta get through this, but I will. I know I'm gonna get through this stuff.
So I think everybody likes the rogue thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. It's like, nah, you gotta play the game. Because
I was just talking about that today.
You gotta play the game. Yes, you gotta play the game. Like, now it's just, I guess it's kind of like the rap industry. Like, you're independent artist, or do you sign to a major type of thing? Yeah, my goals now, like, I need angel investors. I need to get things together. I have to be more visual. I have to do things like this and talk and, you know what I'm saying, acquire new skills. But that's growth, right? I could show up and do people's nails every day, but is there longevity in that for me? Am I passionate about that anymore? Which ways am I growing in that way? Is it suitable for my personal life? Like, all of these things, you know, that I have to evaluate now, you know?
Are you so passionate about it?
Yeah, for sure. I think that my passion has elevation to it. And I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I think I just came back, mad plugs, but I just came back from Invest Fest in Atlanta. In 12 Keys, he was kind of talking about just like the evolution of relationships and like how people are. And like right now, my most primary relationship is my relationship with Lux K, feeding into it, being honest with it, things like that. And it's going to evolve. I was okay with my first studio. Now I'm kind of walking around my second studio like, all right, God. Like, and I have conversations with God like that. I don't be like, oh, Heavenly Father. That I'll be like, yo, so this is what we need. But people don't understand that God wants you to ask of him. He does not put in the Bible for you to be worried, for you to be low, for you to be those things. He says, think the highest, think the biggest. So it's like, I can't be talking all of these great things and get people excited like you, people that follow me. And I'm kind of like, okay.
I feel like that. That's something that I'm personally struggling with, right? Like even with coming here and doing this video podcast, like my cousin was like, but you always want to be the next Oprah. You always wanted this. Yeah. And I said to myself, you know, I said this earlier, like, but really? Like, did I really want to? And you start doubting. Yeah. But remember, like, thinking back to Little Raina, like, this was always part of me, but you start to allow yourself to, I don't know, purposely forget because it's easier, right? Like it's easier to just say, all right, that's not really what I want to do.
Do you remember what I told you? There's probably only 3 things that I repeat to myself when I have moments like that, but it was the Jeezy quote.
I don't remember.
You will not always be motivated, but you must master discipline. That shit is true. And when I start, like, you know, you already know when you kind of going, I'll be like, yeah. Because I don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do it for self, what you going to do, girl? Like, you need to get it together. So I think, and put yourself around people that feed that to you. Like I said, I was at Invest Fest. I was just talking to people. There was really nobody there in the beauty industry. And they're like, wow, you do nails and you came to this? I'm like, yeah, because I got to learn how to manage money on a high level because it's coming to me. And they're like, that's right, girl. That's right.
Yeah.
And I was leaving one day and this girl came up to me and she was like, are you Lux K? And I'm like, it caught me.
Does that creep you out now when people do that?
It's funny to me because I have friends that are influencers, so I see it happen to them, and I just kind of be like, whatever. But it be bugged out to me because I do nails, and it's just like, that's so not a thing. But people like, oh, when you post this in your story, you influence me, and I'll tell a story like, oh, they be like, girl, I know, I follow you, da-da-da-da. And I'll be like, this is crazy. But she had on my press-ons.
She had ordered from you.
And I was just like, you see another sign, right? I'm there clapping for everybody, so proud of everybody else's journey. And it's like, nah, you're here because you have the ability as well, too. You know what I'm saying? So those moments. So I think feed into yourself more. Like when you drive, you have a route that you're going on, right? Along the route, you might see some things like, wow, that house is beautiful. And now it starts to inspire you. Like, you know what? I really like that they had a red door. I'm going to get a red door on my house. I'm going to like be open to the journey. And I think it's so important. Like I was telling you, Jim Rohn ain't no joke. Like he started Herbalife. So how people said that Herbalife is like
the pyramid scheme.
Let me tell you, he built that pyramid because the knowledge behind like how he be and he's so direct. He's like my grandfather, so I appreciate him for that. But Les Brown is so amazing because he give you like a little bit of empathy with it. But it's like, all right now, come on, let's go.
You need people like that. Yeah. Like I keep saying that you need people like that.
That's right. You need disappointment too, because disappointment is going to grow you as well. Disappointment gives you time. Oh, I've been disappointed many times, especially this year. But it's been amazing to evolve from those places. I think you're kind of always evolving, but disappointment also teaches you what you didn't give, how you didn't grow, how you could reassess, and also what you won't tolerate. I think people have this fluffy identity with boundaries, but boundaries are a really honest place. And in disappointment, I think when you start to make new boundaries for yourself, you have to hold yourself accountable as well.
Yeah. All right. So, Kia, like, there's something that I've just been proud of you watching your journey from, like, Instagram. It's our first time meeting in real life, but I feel like since 2019, I've been invested in seeing your own growth as inspiration to what I can, you know, accomplish myself. But the hustle bag 2.0, the essential hustle tote, I think that's a story that our dream drivers need to hear. So let's show it. Let's show it to the people.
So
and it just dropped. It dropped yesterday.
And it's so
y'all can't even get this.
My baby.
If y'all did not get
now,
it, thank you. And if y'all didn't get this, I'm sorry, but you can't get it anymore. You legit sold out. And tell our people.
It was an hour and 16 minutes. My best friend Unisha, shout out to her. She had the countdown. I'm always doing something else, so sometimes I miss things. And I was just like, wow. And when you had texted me, you was like, I think it's sold out. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, the hustle bag is so, the first hustle bag came in the pandemic when in New York, everybody had to pay for the bags. And I was like, like if they're saying that this could be a topical kind of disease, I'm like, why would I put my food in something like that and then bring the bag home? Yeah. So when I worked for Nike, we used to have these leggings that had a ripstop nylon like pouch for runners in the rain. Okay. That had a little pouch that was there, and I was like, if I could make a bag that like you could kind of like tuck away and bring, and then I just started like going into Kia mode and figuring it out. And I ended up finding a brand called Bagoo, and they had the same, for me, anytime I put my name next to it, I have to make sure we have the same identity and things like that, and we value the same things. So Bagoo is a dope company, and we were able to make the hustle bag. Shout out to Farah. She helped me with my graphics. And the hustle bag came about is because this summer, everybody was back outside in New York City.
Until the COVID hit again, everybody had COVID.
Oh my gosh, yes. I think that's just the life that we're living now. And my studio is in Williamsburg, so that's a totally different demographic over there. Mm-hmm. And the New Yorker bag is something I see like every day. So I was like, I'm going to make the hustle bag like the New Yorker bag, because the New Yorker bag, you don't really see a lot of Black girls that carry that bag.
They'd be like, what's the New Yorker?
Exactly, because back to how I said when I was working at the office in Manhattan and things like that, it's totally different life, totally different exposure and culture. Mm-hmm. Most people are not even utilizing the New Yorker magazine. You know what I'm saying? I get my news off of Twitter, or if something happens, face to face, what people tell me. So, but this baby, it's very interesting because when I wanted to make the bag, I knew it had to be a tote. So I couldn't work with Bagoo. So I had to learn a whole new process all over again. And then also because the New Yorker bag is their own bag, I had to dupe the bag for it to look like it, but also that I'm not going to get sued by them.
Infringement.
Oh my gosh. And that whole process, like, you guys get it. And it's like, oh my God, I got my bag. And it's like, no, it was tears. It was cries. It was frustration. It was all of these things. And then I'm asking them, because I'm novice to how it works, I'm like, and why can't you do this? So this bag was made in Mexico City. The reason that I ended up going with them and just not somebody local is because I'm really a stickler on detail and things like that. And also they were a women-owned business as well. And this whole bag, the black that's here, is made from all non-toxic and biodegradable inks. Okay. Because a lot of the stories that I got back from the hustle bag, people put their food in it, they put their children's clothes in it, it's their everyday bag. So I was really, really honest in the fact that, like, okay, I want to try this out, but the bag is going to break down and it's going to give like an artist wear and things like that. So I was like, okay, I want to see how this goes. This year, 50 Cent came out with the BMF documentary. So I was watching it, and it was one scene when Meech is like, see it, touch it, obtain it. And I had like stopped it and I wrote it down. I was like, see it, touch it, obtain it. I was like, nah, like,
you gonna make this happen?
And then most things that people don't like about tote bags is everything kind of gets all over the place. So in here, all hitting the mic. In here, it has this see, touch it, obtain it moniker that Meek said, but it also has a pocket. So that's really, really dope. And I put inside of here that you could put your name in the hustle bag, because everybody's hustle is different. And I think that to go into Dreams and Drive, you can have the same car, but we going different places. It doesn't make the car less valuable. It doesn't make your journey less valuable. Sometimes your phone will die and you have to go on the GPS of your own visual. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You got to go in your memory and be like, I know this. So I got to trust myself.
Facts. And then you find a new route and you be like, oh, okay, I've gained confidence. I don't need the GPS. I know where I'm going. And I don't want anybody to think their hustle has to look at like mine. If they see me in the studio working this late, or if they see me doing this, or I'm not really a in front of everybody type of person. So when you see the results of things, they're not just, I did it in a week. Like, this took 6 months to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. On top of still seeing a full schedule, I was doing the Adidas campaign. I was doing so many things, but that's the path that I'm walking on, and I'm learning so many things in it. So the hustle bag, that's why I did it at a very limited number. I had 100 of them. And I was like, all right, let me see how this goes, because I put so much into this bag. I just didn't want it to be like a popular thing. Like, just anybody could walk around with it. It's like the alignment that comes with that. It was really important to me.
So why do you think it sold out so quickly? Was it? Because that's like an hour.
Because it's a great fucking bag.
I know, but let's put our shades on. Hold on.
Yes. Okay, we can put on our sunglasses.
Our shades, right?
Okay, we can put on our shades. Not because we're being shady.
I know, but just because I think we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Okay. Yes. we gotta talk about what makes you dope, because you sold that thing out in an hour, girl.
I think that people really trust my direction of what I value. You know what I'm saying? I think when you get anything from Lux K, whether it's the cuticle paint or a DM or something that I'm posting, there's no second guessing to it. You know, also the honesty in it. And just knowing that I really worked on it and I'm passionate about what I'm doing. And I think people could feel those things. Why do they listen to your podcast? This whole thing is like our new wave. You're like the new rappers, it's like the new cool thing to make somebody sit down and really listen and care about our stories and stuff like that. That's a big deal. So you're also dope in that lane as well.
Thank you. And I feel like it's just a testament to sticking the route, because it's been 6 years. I launched, so it's funny because you went and started venturing into this world like 2016, right? Was that
2017? I went to nail school. I did not start nails into 2018 because I was just like, is this something I really want to do?
But so you went to nail school, but you didn't start nails?
Oh my gosh, my teacher called me and she
I'm
was
gonna take my
like,
shades off. Now I'm like, all right, we are.
She was like, Kia, if you don't go take your state boards, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, because I was just like, I don't really know. I don't know. So I think that's such a genuine thing to be like, no, it wasn't something from the beginning that I was like, yeah, and I'm doing this, that, and talk about investment. I took a plane trip to Japan,
and that,
by
Japan,
myself. That's
a hefty price.
That is not a cheap thing to do, and that's also why I'm very, very stern on the fact that, like, no, we don't do the same level of work, because what you're exposed to also guides your navigation.
Yeah, and I think that also just helps people know. There's something that I want to talk to you about, like integrity, right?
Yeah,
and
big time.
Setting the expectation for how people experience you. Like, that's something that I really love about you. It's like, listen, I'm not going to argue with you about prices. I'm not about to, like, your experience.
I want to say something about that. The beautiful
yes.
thing is I never really had to argue about people with prices, because you said, how did the hustle bag sell out in an hour? It's genuine. When I was at Invest Fest, Steve Harvey spoke about, no, I'm sorry. It was Tyler Perry.
Okay.
He said that Tyler Perry Studios is booked from other production studios because he has a standard of excellence. And I said, I have a standard of excellence. That's how I responded. So Tyler Perry, before I come work with you, I'm still in that from you.
He's going to be on the show one day. He will be in this seat, right?
There you go. I'm still in that from him. But yeah, it's a standard of excellence. And I think that's really important, because once again, like, my studio is called 1209. That's my grandfather's birthday. Like, I'm not playing with this. You could get with it or you can't. And I think that comes with the confidence of knowing, like, yeah, I'm doing the work. When you get something from me, when you meet me, when you get your nails done, when you see something, like, you're in love with them. You have alignment with those things. That's one of my favorite words. I don't know if y'all can
see Kia's nails. But like, you got to put it up for the camera. Like, they are dope, right?
And these are press-ons. So most people are usually like, how did you get press-ons to look like that? And I'm like, yeah, my press-ons, when I do them for myself, they probably take me like 2 hours.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I've had these on for a month.
And you just keep, like, it's not like you reapply them or anything?
When I was coming here today, putting my boots on, my thumb came off. But I've had it on for about Yeah, probably like a month and a week because I
They
just
look
been
dope.
so
In real
busy.
life, like, these look dope.
Thank you. But I think from pulling my boots up, but I always carry like a little nail glue with me. But yeah, so many people, even if you look at my reviews and stuff like that, like even with the app that I use, I was having a little bit of issue with it, and I called the customer service, and it was a man that was helping me. He's like, I just want to say I'm sitting here looking at your reviews, and he's like, they're so in depth. He's like, I love the fact that you have these deep in-depth reviews. And I was just like, thank you so much. Like, but we have to speak to those things, and I would love to leave you with that, because you have a vision for yourself. Like, you have to speak to that. You have to walk in that. How did Oprah do these things?
Yeah.
How did Oprah move around that? Who was Oprah's circle? You know what I'm saying? What is Oprah doing now that she's Oprah that you can offer and be like, well, you know what? You Oprah, respectfully.
Yeah.
But this could be evolved in this way. You know what I'm saying? So your own competition is always you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and finding the thing that makes you special, because the one thing that I've, throughout this journey since 2016, the most consistent feedback is you ask great questions.
You do.
You make people
You made it so much easier.
like you make people feel comfortable, like, and I realize not everybody can do that. And I think so many of us are sitting in this space where you don't even know your gift is a gift.
Yeah.
Like, you're sitting in this big old present and you don't even see it, right?
Well, that's why you also, with the personal development and stuff like that, and not having a false belief, you know what I'm saying? I could sell a sweatshirt, but is that my passion? No. Because if you see me, this is me today, but I probably have on the same thing almost every day, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So even though it could sell, that's not really my passion. And maybe that time that I put in developing a sweatshirt, I could put in developing classes or work on my skill and things like that. Like, just being authentic with self, working for a higher purpose. I don't really work for me. I don't work for me to sell out the hustler bag. It's like, okay, that's going to be a seed planted to do X, Y, and Z and move forward in this way. You know what I'm saying? I think it becomes easier. It feels lighter to me. I feel very lighter than what I felt in 2019. I feel way better now than how I started out this year.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of work and just a lot of a lot of support from my friends, a lot of praying, a lot of letting motherfuckers go. Like, all of that, you know. And I think the thing back to death with Lauren London is I kind of always saw death as peace. Like, my grandfather was buried to this song, May My Work Speak for Me.
You said he was what?
He was buried to this song.
Okay.
It's like this old song. It's called, like, May the Work I've Done Speak for Me.
Is it a gospel song? Okay.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, may the work I've done speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as God is pleased and I've left something that could honor my path, I'm good. Like,
and that's
fully.
so powerful to get to that space where you're okay with that. And I think as dream drivers, I talk about this a lot, like, dream driving, it's a continuous, but there may be an end, right?
Yeah.
You may get to where your car really just physically can't go no more. And what do you do? Have you ever thought about, like, I'm not talking about the end of you, right? Not Kia, but the end of Lux K, or are you not thinking about that?
No. 50 Cent, who is also somebody that I adore.
We need to have all these people, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, 50 Cent, Tyler Perry, used to all be here.
Nah, I love 50 Cent, but he said your business is not a business unless it can't be bought. So that took such an anxiety off my shoulders to keep this thing going forever. I'm like, yeah, but all hustlers flip. That's the part of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I just want my flip to go in the right hands, and I go to traveling and making the foods that I love, be able to swim every day, exercise, you know what I'm saying? Move my life forward in another way, see what God could use my life and my path to help me. And you know what I'm saying? I am happy in myself. So I'm not really chasing a lot of other things. As long as I'm not homeless, the standard of living that I want is maintained. My friends are healthy. I'm healthy. I could get on a plane when I feel like it, go to the water. I feel good about myself internally and physically. Like, I'm good. I feel like I'm always going to be good. So I'm not chasing like a stamped thing. If I get a yacht, facts, I want one. But
if you don't, it's all
if I don't, I'm going to be in a way that I'm going to have friends that'll be like, yeah, let's go to Italy. And I'm like, sure, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those things matter to me.
So let's flip this. I didn't even plan this, but it just came to me. Sometimes I do this. I want you to ask me a question now, right? Like,
okay, that's so funny because I was thinking. I was like,
let's see how many minutes. We got like 10 minutes, right? I want to give you a time. I feel like on the show a lot of times, like you don't really have like the guest being able to ask the host something. So let's give you 5 minutes where you the host now, Kia. I'm gonna put my cards down.
Which we spoke about is
Right?
they should give us feedback if you think I should get a podcast, because people always tell me they like my voice, and if
we both have distinct voices.
Yes, very much
Yes.
so. I think it's funny because I'll be like, my voice, I don't know. I've never heard somebody that sounds like me. So it's interesting. But I was going to say, you always talk about your son. Yeah. And then today you was telling me your son's name, Axel. Shout out to him.
This is his chain right here.
Right?
Bling, bling.
So for your son, if he was to see you now and then your inner child, how would they interact with each other?
I think my son Axel and baby Raina would be the best friends. Like,
there you go.
I feel like he would be the friend that I wanted as a kid. Does that make sense?
That's
like,
amazing.
I have had friends, and like, I have my childhood friend, like Samantha. She's somebody who I've known all my life. And it's just so funny because I didn't grow up. So my father has 3 girls. My mom has 2 girls. I grew up with all sisters. And I always wondered what it would be to have like that masculine energy, but a masculine energy that was complementary to me, right? So seeing my son, he loves learning. He's so curious. He's like so expressive for just like, he's going to be 2 next month. And he just has like, if he wants something, he's going to explain it to you. He's going to ask you for it. He's going to try to learn as much. So I feel like that younger Raina and my son now would just be like best friends. And it's interesting because it's like, maybe I needed him in my life at this point, right?
I was about to say, you always talk about your son, and I think it's so dope. So I would love to know like how they were.
Am I obsessed? But I just
honestly, I mean, it's your kid.
But you know what? I feel like coming from a Caribbean household, like I've always learned, like, don't be so vain. Don't be like, at least in like my household, it was always like bad.
And you're Guyanese, right?
No, Jamaican.
Oh, don't be so vain.
No, but you know, Jamaicans are the vainest of vain.
I was about to say,
but maybe it's just my specific parents, right? They're like very like, you don't have to like talk about everything you do, but
oh no, that
he's my greatest
for sure.
accomplishment. And I talk about this a lot of times because I'm like, yo, it was kind of a surprise baby, right? Beginning of the pandemic or a little bit before the pandemic, but I was so nervous to have him. But now I'm like, yo, I don't know what I would do without him because he really is this anchor, and he's like my ability, like everything I know that I'm good at. I'm good at teaching. I'm good at nurturing. And like, I'm seeing that in him. And I'm like, I know I could be this. I know I could be that. But at the end of the day, being a great mother and being able to impact his life, like I was talking about, like, I just hope that he grows up to be a good man. And I feel like Black men, not saying there's a dearth of like good Black men, but I feel like I was like, what was missing in the generation who parented this generation of Black men, right? Like the ones that are now like our age, like a lot of them I feel like broken. Like that could be a whole podcast, right? That could be a whole podcast on its own.
I don't really know, but I heard it's bad out there.
But I'm just saying
they said the girls like to tussle, and it's bad out there. That's what I heard.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like it's my job to like help him be a good man and to help.
I want to interject because the reason that I asked you is like. I think how you were saying you have some self-doubt and stuff like that. Yeah. When you talk about your son, you're so clear.
I love him
you are
so, like, so cry. Like, I really
clear.
Love him so much.
I think that's amazing. I mean,
I love him so much.
we need more of those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think the ease that you have with your son and just like that pure confidence that you have, which you're bringing to his life. Oh my God,
you're making me cry. Wait, how is
it's fine.
Okay. I just really love him.
Go, but I think that's fire. And maybe I feel like that about Lux K. Like,
you know, like that's your baby. And it's when you have babies, you know, maybe it's like, you know, when you have the baby you're supposed to have. I don't know if that makes sense, right?
No.
Like Lux K is a baby you're supposed to have. And like Big Axel, it's funny because his name means father of peace. And like my whole pregnancy it was the pandemic. It was crazy out in the world. But girl, I was chilling. I didn't have no swollen feet.
I had a fun pandemic too. Don't you feel guilty sometimes when people tell their pandemic stories and you're just like.
I was pregnant. I feel like I was pregnant during the perfect time because I didn't have any expectations to do anything. I was at home just chilling. I had a very nice pregnancy.
That's good.
And the whole time, like, you know, his grandmother always be like, is he moving in there? And I'd be like, yeah. But he was so chill. Like, he would barely move. Now, sometimes I would get, like, kind of nervous. But he was just so peaceful.
He was restful.
And when I looked up A names, I wanted him and his dad to have the same initials. And I looked up A names and I saw Axel and it said Father of Peace. And I was like, that's going to be his name. I mean, we came up with it like a day before he was born. But anyway, that's okay. A whole nother
that's
story.
Okay. Fitting
but it
timing.
came when it needed to come. And his like labor was peaceful. It went as I wanted it to go. And it is like, I really do he's just something or someone that I don't know. I just get so happy when I talk about him.
And also that joy, right? We have to hold on to the things that make us joyful and the things that make us feel present and the things that make us dream higher. I think that my dreams were so small. They were great dreams. They were great dreams, but they need to be bigger. And also, you kind of want people, back to how you speak about driving. I don't need my friends to all do the same things that I do.
Yep.
I don't need my friends to be interested in the same things that I'm interested in, but they need to be great in their lanes. They need to have things that when I'm having a day, they could text me and they could say something that's uplifting. I need my clients to understand that time is of value and stuff like that, that we're all on the same accord. People that buy and purchase my things, like, why do we buy Gucci? Why do we do? Because we know we want to step in the room and give a certain understanding and things like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's so important that we don't lose that, because this world, it just seems like everybody is just over here, over there, jumping onto this. 1 month a person is a real estate agent, the next month they selling fitness and this, that, and you can have passions, but we just have to stay with the course. You know what I'm saying? It's so important. You will not always be motivated, but you must master discipline. That's definitely where I am at in 2022.
So in the, guise of dreaming bigger, right? And I love to end every episode with our keys to success, right? Okay. You cannot be a dream driver if you do not have your keys to success, Kia. Right now, 2022, Kia, what do you think are 3 things that every dream driver needs in their hustle bag before they hit the road?
Okay, so I would say honesty for yourself and for others. I think that you have to give yourself grace also for yourself and others, because when you're on the road, it's not just you in that car, it's other people. Things are going to happen. You got to give people grace. And I think that the last thing is, I think confidence, because confidence is such a big part of this game that we don't speak about. Like you said, we were raised kind of like, okay, you did a good thing, but you kind of keep it over here. Like, no, I did a good thing.
And everyone should know about it. And I'm all right with that.
And I think if you carry those other things too, it doesn't come off as bragging. It comes off to be celebrated, and it comes off to be like, wow, I want to do something like that too. So it's building and growing more of a community of well-equipped people.
The keys to success that you mentioned last year, you said, not last year, 2019, financial stability, the desire to want to learn more. And then it was honesty with self. So just think about, like, that honesty though is one that will always be there, even as things change.
I don't really like people that's not honest. Even if you're a horrible person, be honest in that. Like, honesty is big to me. Facts. I love, the mafia is something that I really, really love. So I also lead, my life like that too. Like, we don't play those games. Honesty is a big deal. So
I'm going to give you time to ask me another question then. Cause that one tripped me up a little bit. I'm like, you got me crying over here.
No,
that's my baby.
What's next? What's next for you?
So what's next is this. Right? The video world. Good. I think that this was a great first step in me just like...
Thank you, Angie Martinez and Lauren London. We appreciate y'all.
Really inspired me to just be like, I could do that too, right?
Right?
Like,
this is what we need.
We could have these conversations. Like, okay, there's people out there who do that, but like no one can do it like Raina could do it. No one could do it like Kia could do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like what's next for me is stepping outside of my comfort zone. Like, even today, I got my makeup done. I gotta fit right. I had to like step into who I already know that I am.
Because Oprah can't wear them earrings, girl. So we need you to be there so you could get it done.
And not even, I have to think about, like, I don't have to be Oprah. I could be like, how you said, I'm Kia and I've always been Kia. Like, I'm Raina and I've always been Raina. So it's really stepping into and defining, like, who is Raina? And I'll leave it at this is, it's this epiphany I had a while ago is my life started in a car accident. It's crazy because when I was 10 months old, I was in a like very bad car accident with my mother and my father. And like I almost died in a car accident. I had a fractured skull, had to go to like, what do you call people who work in your head? Not neurologist.
Craniosacral?
Something. But I used to have to go to a specialist every year up until I was like a certain age to make sure everything healed.
And with the helmet, right?
No, I didn't have a helmet. But like, I just had like a fractured skull. So they had to just make sure it was healing. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy to think about like my life started in a car accident. And my mother, like, never finished school. She was, like, in nursing school. Her life just kind of stopped, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like I became, like, but you know what? I'm going to invest in my child now, and she's going to be great. And
amazing. That
whole, like, car theme has always been in my life, this idea of, like, dream driving no matter what. And I'm like, yo, I got to, like, talking about legacy, now that I got a son, his name's Axel, and Axel's a part of a car that keeps the wheels moving.
You gotta pay attention. Isn't that crazy? You gotta pay attention.
Like, there's so many things that I think about now. So I think, like, what's next is really putting those dreams in drive. And, like, my son is my, like, he's really my Axel. Like, legit the thing that keeps me going. And he's the thing I didn't know I needed. But now I got to be like, all right, boo, like, I got to step it up, right? I got to leave you legacy.
It's important. And I think that when you play this back and you listen to it, like, that's your why and that's your purpose. Don't let the car accident be a thing. I'll end on this. My best friend Unisha, TD Jakes, has a sermon. It's called Branded. Okay. And she always be like, your scars, like, you branded for this. This is your story.
Do you have any scars that are visible?
I do.
I have this. I burnt myself when I was a kid. I was trying to iron my own dress. I don't know where the parents were, but, like, I have this scar that, like, it's just always here, right? Yeah. And my son came out with the scar on his, on both his wrists. He has a little, like, it looks like a little line, but he was chewing on his wrist in the womb. Wow. So it still is there, like, bright as ever. So it's so funny how we both have scars on our wrists.
Yeah, and we all have these paths that we supposed to go to. Silence that outer noise and stay focused, because that's what a safe driver does. Be safe, though. Shout out to Tax.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kia. This has been such like an inspirational, delightful. We both stepping outside our comfort zone, doing something new. Who knows, y'all? If you enjoyed this, make sure that you are following us. You can follow Dreams and Drive on all the social media platforms. Let people know where they can get Lux K.
At Lux K. It's 2 underscores, the physical symbol, LUXK, and everything runs through there. So thank you guys for your time.
Yeah, y'all can't get the hustle bag. I got one though, right? Let me get the hustle bag right now. This is mine. It's the last one. So sorry about that, y'all.
More to come, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
All right, bye, guys.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Dancing crew, trip for 2, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. Boosters designed for COVID-19 variants are now available. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster appointment as soon as you're eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
All right, so that's a wrap for episode 326 with Kia Stewart. I hope you enjoyed hearing her dream driving journey as well as her keys to success. Remember, guys, if you want to watch this episode, it is available on YouTube. The full video episode is available on YouTube. So just go to youtube.com/dreamsanddrive and search for this episode and watch it. Let me know what you guys think. I want to do more video interviews. It was so fun to be in studio with Kia and just getting to converse with her in real life and getting that one-on-one interaction dynamic. Hopefully you guys can take some time out your day to watch it, share it, and let me know what you think of it. Remember, if you want to join our email newsletter, The Keys, and get weekly updates delivered right to your inbox, go to dreamsanddrive.com/join. That's dreamsanddrive.com/join. And remember to share this episode, right? We are Dreams and Drive across the board on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So use the hashtag Dreams and Drive, tag us, follow us. You know, I am always on Instagram engaging with all our dream drivers. So please, please, please make sure to give us a shout out. Keep dreaming, keep driving, and we'll chat again in the next episode. Bye, guys.